Last time on BPO Night Live.
Interviewer mo, no, ganito.
That cycle
Something about
What?
She was teaching me how to cook mung beans, and then I said, right, but I asked you how to cook rice. He said, yes, mom, but right. And it's like, okay, so can you tell me how to cook rice? And he goes, yes, mom, but mom, what about the mongoose?
What? What? What about those? I'm lost.
naman walang ulam.
Thank you very much for calling ABC Company. Have a great hair day. She realizes it because I'm looking at her like. So if you don't violate EOP, I buy you pizza. If your team violates EOP, even if it's just one person on your team violating EOP, your whole team buys me pizza.
Ooh, I like that. Why I've never
challenge,
thought of that?
And it works. It actually works.
Yeah.
Mostly because they don't want to buy me the pizza. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. If it works, it works. So yeah, I've had to buy pizza a few times.
That's really nice. I miss those days.
That's a nice way to motivate
Yeah.
people to speak English all the time. Question. What can you say about people trying to come up with an accent? Like, is it something that we encourage them to do, or would you say at least they just need to stay neutral all the time? Because for me, I'd rather be neutral because I really can't take any kind of accent. It just needs to be neutral. So, but for you personally, what if, let's say, you have a trainee and that trainee really wants to sound like an American or sound, British? What would you say about that? What are your thoughts around that entire, mindset?
Okay, so accents, would I recommend it? Absolutely not. So I understand that there are applicants who would like to sound more American, or they would like to have a British accent or a European accent, all kinds of accents. So I would not recommend jumping to another accent altogether, because it's going to be difficult for you to jump from one accent to the other immediately. I would say that it would be better to learn to sound neutral first. So neutralize your current accent so that you can do a proper other accent. Because it's going to sound weird if you already have, so you have the Filipino accent, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But when you have the Filipino accent and then you jump to, let's say, an American accent, but you don't really know what you haven't really grasped or practiced the American accent yet, you're going to end up mixing both the Filipino and the American accents, and it's going to sound weird and awkward. It's fine if you're going to talk that way with your friends and family, that's okay. But if you accidentally bring that to the phones, that's a no-no. So start by going neutral first, and once you've neutralized your accent a little bit, then you can slowly bring in the other accents that you would like to learn about.
Thank you, Z. What if, let's say, I wanted to learn yung Southern drawl? Check, hey y'all! Ganong accent. Kaya ba yun? Hey y'all.
Bumalik na naman yung
Because I remember in 2000, lumalabas na naman yung internet. Way back, we were taught that, because so at least there's validation that going neutral is still the best way. It's still the best way. Try not to fake it. And I was told before by my trainer way back when I was starting in the industry that if you are going to practice with English, you'd rather try to try to sound like those from CNN, yung mga Midwestern
Yes.
na accent lang. Kasi they're
Yeah.
very neutral.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
So
the whole
yun.
point there as well is the more neutral you sound, the more likely it is that people who have different accents will have an easier time understanding you. But if you end up mixing two accents together, they're going to be like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Mm.
Yeah, stop being a valley girl.
So can I just hop on the whole accent thing? And there are accents that are for business, right? Like because accent is a combination of a lot of things, like your pronunciation, your intonation,
Correct.
your diction, and all that. So there are times that, for example, if you're so southern or right, like it's not formal. It really depends on the occasion or the place that you're doing it. So it's more of really making sure that you're using the appropriate one. And everyone has their own accent, but you don't have to force an accent that's not really yours. So that's the takeaway. But yeah, like their accents are just really not for the office or an interview as well. So you want to sound like Hannah Montana, but it's not. No, it's not for call center. You know, like it's not for that. Yeah, or if you want to be like all Cockney with your British accent, like it's still not for the office because
Apple,
the Cockney accent, you like the old times, like British, like there's no T, like
You don't want to end up sounding like Luke, no?
no, Luke is fine. Luke is fine.
Luke's accent is fine, but then again, well, he's British.
That's
what
true,
I'm saying,
yeah.
a British accent, and you don't get trying so hard, and you're not doing
Yes.
it right as well. So
That's true.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
It's gonna sound bad over the phone, and like your customer's gonna hear it that you're really faking your accent.
Yes, and it's going to sound like you're mocking them in
Yes.
a way. They might
Yes,
find that
Exactly.
insulting. So if you're not 100% sure that you can carry the accent all throughout the conversation, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Just keep it neutral, mga kaBEEPs.
Yep.
Keep it neutral, mga
Yes, keep it neutral. Or sound like Rufa May.
No, don't. Go.
Customer, I understand what you're going through. Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Filipino.
Have a great hair day.
So how to cook rice? Yes. On. No. No.
Rufa May came to ask, hello, thank you for calling me.
Parang siyang I just realized she sounds like the Filipino version of do you guys remember The Nanny? Si Fran Drescher.
Oh my
It's like the Filipino version of The Nanny.
Yes.
Exactly.
Look, kaBEEPs are not making fun of accents, ha? Everybody has their accents, but
Yes.
you have to use, or you have to really use the one that's for work, right? You have to sound. You have to use the sound or the way you speak for work, the way you deliver yourself.
Well, for as long as they sound clear and we can understand what they're saying, that's fine. But there are some kasi that they're exaggerating it. And it sounded like what Zelina mentioned earlier, it sounded like they're mocking the customer or someone that they're talking to. So, yun lang.
And then also, I think kaBEEPs, it's so important that aside from trying to neutralize your accent at work, you also have to consider the choice of words.
Correct.
I really hate it during, let's say, an interview, and I always hear yeah instead of yes.
Yeah.
Or if you're in a meeting with the VPs, And then you have to have, and then you need to confirm your actions. So instead of saying yeah, and I hear that sometimes, I will always say yes. Yeah, yes, I can do that. Instead of saying yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds for. I'm not that I'm not throwing these guys doing the bus. It's just that you can use that in a not formal setup. But if you're in the office or especially with clients and all, try to stay educated still, di ba? Like in a normal conversation, di mo naman tatanungin sa friend mo, okay, ano yung PAT, di ba? Nang pagpunta mo dito, you don't say that. Same thing when when you are working, there are certain things or certain words that you have to use there, di ba? So let's try to segregate work and let's try to segregate yung personal na yung ginagamit natin on a daily basis. I think a lot of our kaBEEPs, they tend to mimic what they see on movies. It's not bad. You can actually pick up a thing or two, but you just have to tone it down. Again, there's a right way to speak to your colleagues at work. There's a right way to speak to your to your friends of when you're not working. So you just have to make sure that you always tone down. Restrain yourselves from using words that are not relevant to the topic or not relevant to the environment that you're in.
Since we're talking
Yun lang.
about
Just my
that,
2 cents.
yeah, it's good that Gary brought that up. For example, like slang or the contractions, like the y'all won't work. I don't know.
Hey, y'all!
Good morning, y'all. But in Texas, they do say that a lot. Kahit na mag-isa ka lang. Hey, y'all. I'm just alone. But anyway, yeah. So like ain't like that because you just want to sound cool, or what are the kids saying nowadays? The millennials. I don't know. They have their own words, eh.
Awit. Charing.
Oh, they have words na eh. Like, I'm hearing sim. What's that? Like,
Or sus.
yeah, like, sus. Yeah, like,
Iopos. Ganon.
they have ano na, like, any trendy word and anything that's not formal, yeah, make sure that you are using the proper or the proper English. Is that proper? So yeah, like not too casual, not too slang. I know that the BPO has a more casual setting, right? People can even apply to,
Right now.
yeah,
Correct.
they can apply to us and wear jeans, right? As long as you're not wearing open toes. Yeah, they wear jeans and t-shirt only, like as if you're not even face to face, right? I'm not sure now.
Yes, yes.
But it really pays off if you are decent. You don't have to wear a coat and tie or power dress. You can power dress if you want. It's up to you. But yeah, just look decent and then.
You don't need to wear anything kaBEEPs.
Delikado yan.
And then he's gonna ask, is there anything else that I
Dressing is
can do to
optional.
you? Oh my god.
Pero
After
yeah,
saying
ako,
that you play with yourself and then okay, wow.
Yeah, but I think more than anything, we just have to remember that there has to be like the work mindset and like the personal life mindset, because the way that you would communicate with your parents would not be the same way that you would communicate with your friends, and it would also not be the same way that you would communicate with people at work, especially if you're already on the phone. So
Right.
we just have to remind ourselves more than anything that, okay, so I am now in work mode, so there is a certain way that I should speak and behave at work.
Yep, that I totally agree. kaBEEPs, that shouldn't stop you from learning slang because most likely your customers will use those during a call.
Yes.
And it's very important that you know what they're saying. It's just that you don't have to, what do you call that? You don't have to reciprocate that on that very call.
Yeah.
You just need to make sure that you stay professional, right? So
Agreed.
yeah, so that's me. Okay,
Correct.
so friends, Liz, what are your thoughts?
Don't use Snape's accent.
Well, this was a
Don't
really,
frighten
really nice
your interviewees and clients.
Pero at least na-explain naman natin sa kanila that, interviewers are also people. There are also things that we do.
We're
that,
also quirky and weird.
We're quirky, we're weird, but the way that we come across is because there's something that we want to do. There's something that we want to achieve here, and there's a process that we have to follow. I guess if you are planning to be part of the BPO industry, if you are going to expose yourself in an interview, don't expose yourself too much, right?
Or else you will start
Yeah,
playing myself.
you start playing with yourself and do anything.
That's a
Do
slippery
anything.
slope.
I know. Oh, slippery.
Slippery. Can't believe it.
No, but remember that you are in that interview because you're presenting yourself as a viable member of the organization. So it's like selling an item. You're not gonna sell an item just by saying, crap. You have to present. It's the way you talk, how you answer questions. That's how you sell yourself. So think of what you're gonna say and how you're gonna say it. That's my take.
Yeah.
It's just like what Luciera said. Everything they know about you, it's already there in your resume. So you have to tell them something more. Get away from that resume. You have to be interesting.
Yeah.
But not give away a lot of information wherein it's not appropriate. Okay. So, Lucas, is there anything that you want to add? What are your thoughts?
Yes. This episode is very helpful, especially for those job seekers out there. They're planning to apply here in the BPO industry. And I think it's more on giving them a tip just to be there, prepared. Show up to the interviewer on your interview prepared, and you know what are you applying for, and make sure to be authentic, not just the way you speak but also the way you answer all of the questions, because again, there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to interviewing. But then again, make sure that all of your answers are relevant to the question. And very much important, of course, guys, is be on time. Okay. Especially on your final interview. So make sure to show up on time. And just be yourself during the interview, and also do not be someone else. Do not mimic someone, especially we talked about the accent stuff, right? So you don't have to change it. You just have to neutralize the way you speak, and for as long as you can be easily understood by the person that you're talking to, you're good. You're all good, and you're ready for a job. That's all.
It's just like what Luciera said. Oh my God! Hindi, kasi she says that you are not going to win the crown if you try to be them. You will win the crown by being you. So be you.
Be you.
Be you. Be you. Be cool.
Be
For the young and
Super B.
beautiful you.
I have two last things that I would like to add.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there are two last things that I would like to add. So if it's a face-to-face interview, this is very important and this is very basic, but it is helpful to be reminded. Please keep your phone on silent mode and do not answer your phone in the middle of an interview. Okay, do not answer your phone in the middle of an interview, because it's not like your especially the initial interview, right? The initial interview is not going to take you more than 10 minutes. So if let's say someone is calling you, or if you're expecting a call, let that person know ahead of time. Text them ahead saying, "Hey, I'm about to be interviewed. I will call you back if I miss your call." So that's in a face-to-face interview, right? And also you have to look, besides dressing appropriately for the interview, you also don't like lean forward way too much or be too lax and like lean all the way back, right? So you have to also show the right body language. So that's for the face-to-face interview. So that's, when that happens eventually. But on a phone interview, so just like again, basic things that we would like to remind everyone about. If you know that you are going to be interviewed, make sure that you are in an area that has good reception and doesn't have a lot of background noise.
Yes.
If it just so happens that the interview calls you while you're in the middle of something, do not be afraid to tell your interviewer, I'm sorry, I am currently, let's say you're in the Jeep or in a taxi, you're traveling, you're in the train. You can say, I'm sorry, I'm currently on my way to like this place or that place. I'm on my way to get vaccinated. I'm on my way home. Would it be okay to schedule this at X time? So it is okay. I would actually encourage you to give your interviewer a new schedule so that they will know what time that they can contact you. Or you can just say, I'm so sorry, I'm still running errands. I will be available on this date or at this time. So it is okay to tell your interviewer that, so that, it's going to be so weird and difficult to answer your interviewer while you're in the Jeep or while you're in the grocery. You're not going to be able to concentrate on the interview if you're busy doing something else.
That's a really nice point. Thank you for sharing that. Actually, that's true. No, especially in the world of everything's virtual.
True.
Virtual. In the BPO industry, everything's like so fast that things could just happen overnight. So that means even for the interviews, it needs to be processed. If it can be processed today, then they will call you at random days, random timings in a day. That sounds like, can we just edit that out, Francis? Wala ang bakla.
For my tip, I just have this ever dependable acronym that I give to all of my trainings. And I think it can be for any kinds of interviews. It doesn't have to be BPO or anything, but even for Miss Universe, you can use this. You can answer
Blue Sierra,
hello. I'm not sure if Blue Sierra has done this, but here. So it's called PrEP. I'm not sure if you guys have heard it. So
For not to get
it can be as simple. It can be as simple as what's your favorite color to what is an essence of a woman. Something like that. But PrEP is like, because a lot of the times our interviewees would feel or think that, oh my God, I don't know what to say. Like, how do I organize my thoughts? So that's what I can give them. So PrEP is P for purpose. So you state the purpose. And then R is for reason. And then E for explain. And then you can give experience. You can give examples. And it's based from your own experience, from your own understanding, right? So even if you're just a call center virgin, or it's your first time, then you can always explain something or, give examples from your own experience, right? There. And then, of course, next, to be a little bit more formal and, to wrap things up, you can paraphrase the purpose. You can restate it again. So that's why, for example, I like black because I think black is a flexible color. All of the clothes that I have in my wardrobe is black. I think black looks great on anyone, whatever color, whatever occasion. So that's my E, explain, whatever. And then paraphrase. That's why I like black. All the things I wear, you would notice that every day, Mondays to Friday, I would wear black. And thank you, and for so that's how you answer your question.
I like that. I like that.
I also have an acronym.
Okay, what is your acronym?
HELE.
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 Home economics and livelihood. Tsare! Sasabi lang ni acronym. Ayaw kapabong. Yun lang. Tsare lang. Eme lang.
Okay, so kaBEEPs. Mga kaBEEPs, meron ba kayo natutunan?
Hopefully, diba?
Of course!
Do not expose yourself. Listening is everything.
Correct.
Do not
So
familiar
kaBEEPs,
your way to your interview.
it's okay to idolize me. Kasi, for a fact, he is. But mga kaBEEPs, never in the BPO industry, okay? Outside of work, it's okay. Just go. But no. In the BPO setup.
During breaks
Okay.
only. During ops time. But not on the call.
Okay, so kaBEEPs, thank you
Put
so
your brown out
much.
sa akin.
Oh my God!
Thank you so much. Brown out.
So live.
Life is brown out.
Oh, wow.
Pati na lang yung BPO night live talaga.
My Lord.
So, okay, wrap up na tayo kasi para si Apple punta na Makati.
Yeah, let's do the hi mga kaBEEPs, this is Gary. So Zelina
Go.
is like, hi mga kaBEEPs, this is Zelina.
Oh my God.
Saka lang,
Okay.
di pa natin ako close yung
Close mo muna yung episode. Di pa natin ako close.
Oo.
Okay.
Alam mo, ganyan na ganyan yung nangyari sa episode 2. Sa episode 2, hindi ko na kung paano isasara. Wala tayong closing.
That's our problem, Z. Minsan hindi na ako close. Parang, saan natin, where do we end? Where do we put an end to this? Okay, so, mga kaBEEPs, meron ba kayo na...
Teka muna.
We're running out of time! Meron ba kayo natutunan? Hopefully, meron naman, di ba? But those are our
Of
tips
course.
from your kaBEEPs who has been in the industry for a long time. Long time na talaga, you know? So we've been around for a long time, so hopefully what we've shared to you guys you'll be able to put that into good use. Thank you so much for listening to us or watching us wherever you're listening or watching or wherever you're digesting this episode. Talaga. Kinakain lang.
Nakasabi lang na words.
Term yan.
So much for
We're
word
available in
choice, man.
FB, YouTube, ha?
So much for word choice.
O kaya
Digest.
Digest wherever you're listening to us or watching us, diba? So, we are available in FB, YouTube, and we are also available in Spotify and in other podcasting channels. By the way, Z,
Yes.
you've got your podcast, right?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do have a podcast with my best friend, actually. We rebranded. So we used to be called I Second That Podcast, where we talked about literally anything and everything, but that got messy. So we've just launched a new season, and we are now called How to Be Vegan Podcast. So we're gonna
So that's you!
anything and everything vegan. Yes, that's me.
My son is
That's you.
vegan.
So
Oh my
that's
God.
why you
I'm gonna
put up today.
follow. Yeah.
So yeah, we rebranded. We
Yay.
released our first episode last week.
Oh, I'm going to look that up.
Oh, okay. So we can add the link for Zelina's podcast.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please. That would be great.
It's not getting picked up, sorry.
What's the handle again? What's the handle again?
How to
Be
vegan.
Vegan Podcast.
How to Be Vegan Podcast.
Kasi nga, Apple, you're a vegan.
Not me, my son.
The son is
He has been vegan
Nice.
since February.
Really?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
he's
Ang bagets pa niya, ha?
yeah, he's woke like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, ayan eh. Francis, may edit mo ba yon? Yung mga ka-ek-ekan mo? Or mag-record na tayo?
Ay, ipapasok ko yan.
Ipasok yan!
Pasok yan! Pasok yan!
Okay.
Okay.
So mga kaBEEPs, sana meron po kayo natutunan sa ating sa ating episode for today. So remember, we wish you all the best sa mga interviews ninyo.
Yeah.
Okay?
Follow us for more BPO talks and tips on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BPO Night Live. You can watch us on our official Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. BPO Night Live is also heard as a podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast listening apps.